Howdy folks, Rob MaximumRD here, back once again. This video basically has a few purposes. First and foremost, to let you know that I'm alive. And yes, I do plan on follow-up videos regarding the Open Pandora, the awesome device I received from Mark Vahir. And yes, some of you waiting more. I've even gotten messages and posts on my wall YouTube channel to do the demonstration video for this little device here, the TurboEVERDRIVE. And here's the thing. Life sucks. Or as I should say, real life just gets in the way, and that is that. So it's about priorities. I hope to get to these things sometime soon in the near future. With any luck, it will be before Christmas. Let me put it to you this way. As far as the TurboEVERDRIVE goes, beside the initial unboxing video and when I inserted it into my TurboGrafx just to show how it would work, yeah, it hasn't been back in my TurboGrafx since. I've never hooked it up. I've never turned it on. I don't even know if this thing works. Needless to say, I'll be quite disappointed if it doesn't. But there's the micro SD card ready to go, full of ROMs. I just got to get around to hooking it up, playing it, recording the game footage, and all that stuff. It will happen someday. I can't make promises as to when. It's a good thing I never do. Because, yeah, right now, life is just full of more important priorities. So we will be getting to that at some point. And again, as I said, more on this device, the Open Pandora handheld from Mark. And yeah, I wanted to actually touch on a couple things while I had a moment. And one of the things that I wanted to do is wait before I demonstrate this device fully and show the emulators and such, is I needed to get some SD cards. And if you look at this is a 32 gig SD card. I got that from a retailer, ncix.com. They're the guys that basically supplied every major component for the PC that I built from scratch. So got a nice deal on sale for 32 gigabyte cards, class 10 I believe, high capacity, Patriot memory, nice looking card. 3 of these, they were on sale, got them basically for $19.99 a piece. And I'm quite happy with that because it's a good brand. It's from a reputable dealer, a reliable source. And the reason I am stressing these points is prior to that, I had received these. 3 of these cards. Now, these cards were from a seller on eBay. I'm not going to give the name. I'll explain why in a moment, but let's just get to the point. This here, what you're looking at, is a fake counterfeit card. And sadly, at the time when I bought this, I was only about $5 cheaper than the actual authentic, good quality card that I received from the proper retailer. This one was only $5 less, and so I had bought 3 of these. Now, keeping in mind, I typically actually am a very cautious buyer. I only buy from sources that have very good feedback, and I've always done well. I'm a very firm believer in the thought, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and those are wise words that you're best to keep in mind. So on that note, I will say that the seller, they had decent feedback. I won't say it wasn't 100% perfect, but it was very, very high rated feedback, good comments. And I thought, well, you know, at the price of $14.99, like, we're not talking, oh, you know, it's not like he was offering a 32 gig card for $8 or something, you know. You know, if it was like $10 or something, then I might be really suspicious. But between the decent feedback, the good comments, and the price that was low, but not to the point where you say there's just no way, It was actually, you know, a reasonable price, $14.99. I thought, you know what, I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance against my better judgment. Should always go with that first impulse, folks. I took a chance and I bought 3 of these cards. And I'm going to link some, put some links in the description for you so you can be warned. They will give you some information on fake cards, counterfeit cards, how it's a growing problem on eBay, actually. And particularly even this brand, ADATA. That's another thing, ADATA. That's typically a pretty mid to low end brand as it goes. You know, it's not, you know, if it had said Sony card or SanDisk or, you know, one of those Crucial Memory or something like that, if it was one of those brands that you really associate with quality memory, then again, I might have been more suspicious. But being a low-end brand and being at a price that was believable with good comments and good feedback, I took the chance and I bought them. And right away, as soon as I received the package, I thought, oh man, this is really flimsy. But okay, well, we'll see. Then I opened that, and then the next thing I noticed was the actual case for this card. Again, it's just very flimsy. I mean, I have a lot of these type of cases, and this thing is just totally, it's like the thinnest plastic. I can't even like describe it to you. You'd have to have it in your own hands. But then after all of that is said and done, I thought, well, again, it is a low-end brand, ADATA. It's not the highest quality. But you know what? As long as it works for 32 gigabyte, I'm going to be happy. But then I notice also, very light card. Now, I'm not equating capacity for these cards to their weight or anything like that. I don't even know if that's part of it. What my point being is, this is so light. It's crazy. It almost makes you think, geez, is there anything even in this card? Now, that's the other big problem when it comes to counterfeit or fake cards. If you put this into an SD card slot, read it on your operating system, Windows, if you try to format the card, any regular operation that you would normally do, it's going to come back and report that the capacity is 32 gigabyte. So that's another problem. It becomes noticeable and apparent after you've used it for a while and you've written a few files, you know, maybe a couple, whatever, gigabyte or even a single gigabyte or whatever. You start to notice that, you know, the card is slow. And then after a while, you're going to start getting errors, and your data is going to get corrupted, and your files are going to be lost, and you're going to think, oh, what the hell's going on? But the problem being is you may not notice these issues until you've had the card for a while, and you're taking those important vacation photos or, you know, trying to preserve some really important memories, and then that's when you're going to find out the hard way that this is actually a fake card. It's a piece of garbage. So on that note, some things to look out for, and I actually found this out through some research online, but the fake ADATA cards, my understanding is, the ones that say right beside the SD, you have that little TM symbol, you normally think of a trademark. Well, apparently the actual cards that are by ADATA, right beside the SD, there is no TM symbol. Oddly enough, the actual real cards don't have the TM symbol on it. So, very odd. Again, that was probably an effort to make it look even more official by having that TM trademark symbol there. But again, as you'll see in the links, these are known to be fakes. And that was verified because, quite simply, if you do a search for a program, and I want to let you know this, how would you know if you had a fake or counterfeit card? Well, it's very simple, and I can find it this easily. If you put SD card fake and confirm, I just put those search terms, hit enter, and I had found this one site here, how to find out real or fake SD card. I clicked there, and then I got all kinds of information, and it also linked to another site. This is actually a German site You don't have to know all this. I'm going to link you directly to the program in the description. You click that, you download it. It's called H2 Test W 1.4. H2 Test W 1.4. And quite simply, you download this program, you run it, you select your SD card, and by the way, it is in German by default. You can click a little option to turn it into full English, so don't worry about that, folks. And this is a very good program. It actually writes several blocks to your SD card or USB memory stick, basically whatever type of memory storage device that you have, whatever capacity it claims to be, you run this program and it will write files. I guess they're pretty much dummy files or whatever, but they do take up the space on the card, and it's a slow process. You know, with something like a 32 gig or bigger hard SD card or USB card, it's going to take some time, but that's because it is actually writing to the card, it's verifying the information, it's verifying the files, and it will report back to you its findings. And in the case of this, it wasn't too long before it started reporting back errors and basically saying most likely this card is defective, which is basically, in this case, being a brand new card meant that it was actually fake and counterfeit. And by the end of it, it said something like, you know, it read and verified maybe 2 gig. But so yeah, 2 gig, but it was showing 28 gig as missing or as the words in the program, lost. So, you know, 28 gig lost, and then even that 2 gig that it found originally, that later was reporting more data errors. So as to what it is actually capable of holding or not, I don't even know. I couldn't really tell you. But here's another interesting thing. So in comparison, unfortunately now, obviously I'm not going to rip apart a perfectly good card, but I will happily, just to show you folks what it's like. I don't know how well I can get it to focus here. Sorry about that. It's the autofocus blues, folks. Let's try to get it here. But no, it doesn't want to focus on it. Anyways, I'm going to rip it open anyways. Doesn't matter how well you can see it. But it probably won't be too hard, I'm assuming. Look, I'll use one hand. And there we go. And I'll crack this open, hopefully. There. Now, again, I can't compare to what an actual card would look like inside, but I was curious to know what was inside this fake counterfeit card. So, there you go. See, one hand, folks, I've ripped the cover off, and some type of chip, I guess. Again, sorry, I can't really get any closer. There's a little flimsy PCB type device in there. I'm going to pull that out. There. And there it is. So you can see your terminals right there. That would make the contact with your card reader. And there's the other side. Some kind of chip on the PC, a single chip here, and I'm not even sure that's actual storage capacity. I think that's more just some type of looping circuit. I'm no expert in these matters, but I believe all that really is just a chip that basically loops and sends information telling your operating system that the capacity is 32 gigabyte. So whether there is actual memory storage on there of any amount, I couldn't really tell you. All I do know is it reports back errors and corruptions. And again, you know, I did buy these for my open source Pandora handheld, and I would have been gravely disappointed. But, you know, all those red flags went up, and so I tested right away. and that was the result, that they were obviously fake counterfeit garbage. So you guys read up on that. As I said, I'll supply you with some really good links on that. Now, I won't give you the name of the supplier in this case, and the only reason I'm not doing that, so, well, that was accidental. Paused for a second there. The only reason I'm not giving the name is because I messaged the person instantly as soon as I verified the data using that program. I basically messaged the seller, and right away I jumped on them and I said, look, these are fake counterfeit. Here's the results of this program that I ran, so don't even, you know, don't even try to make excuses. These are fake counterfeit. I want a, you know, I want a refund in my PayPal account immediately. And I said in the message, if I don't hear back within 2 days, I will take this up with eBay and do whatever I have to do. And I also just threw it in there. I said, also, I will make a video and report these counterfeits and fakes to all my subscribers and warn them about you specifically. Now, I don't know. All I'm saying is within, I would say, about 40 minutes, I had a response right away. And that response was basically, I'm very, very, very sorry. I cannot believe this. I've never had this kind of complaint. Your money has been refunded. And sure enough, I checked my PayPal account and every cent was refunded. So, does that let him off the hook? I'm not going to say his name. I'm giving you the links. I'm giving you the information. I'm giving you the knowledge on how to not make the same mistake. I won't say his name only because he refunded my money, no questions asked. Now, by eBay policy, they said basically, well, this seller refunds if you ship the product back within 14 days. And I said in my message, I said, I'm not shipping anything back. I'm not paying anything. I noticed on the postage on the envelope, it was like $1.32, $1.32. I said, I'm not paying a cent to send these back to you. So he had said in his message, you know, that he needs to report it to his supplier. And again, totally claiming that he was not aware and that he was innocent. I don't know about that. Where I have trouble believing that is, you know, the problem with things like that, and I know it happens a lot, is people buy stuff like this, and as I said, had I not used that program, you know, it would have formatted and showed 32 gigabyte. It would have stated 32 gigabyte just by putting it in an SD reader. And then, you know, for example, my wife and I are going on vacation in a week to Mexico, and obviously we'll be taking pictures and video, etc. Now, if I had used one of those cards, it might have seemed good at first, taken a couple snapshots or whatever. Then all of a sudden I would have gotten an error on the card, maybe checked it and seen that there was no data on it, or whatever was on there was corrupt or just not there at all. And this is what happens, unfortunately, in these cases, is people buy these fake and counterfeit cards. You know, they verify that it's 32 gig capacity just on the surface, looking at it quickly, and then whatever, they put them away, they store them, maybe they use them a month later, and then they find out they've been screwed. You contact the seller and your window of return has already been lost. So I'm not saying I believe this guy at all. I'm saying that I'm going to be nice enough about it because he refunded every cent, and that I told him I'm not even going to return the cards and pay for postage. And my PayPal was, you know, it was sent back. It was refunded every penny I paid. So that's the only reason I'm not saying his name. All right, folks. But other than that, you know, obviously I'll never buy from this person again, and I want you guys just to have a heads up, and you'll see down in the links there what to look for. So just be careful. Again, as I said, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Be very careful buying any kind of SD cards or any type of storage devices on eBay. So have a look at that. And again, going back to other things, as I was saying, the open Pandora. Oh, by the way, check this out. This keyboard and this mouse, very basic. Your basic keyboard and mouse, works well. Logitech, got these on sale, both of them, $10. And no, they're not counterfeit. These actual Logitech brand keyboard and mouse. I got it for $10 again from NCIX. That's a good reseller. It was a very short time period to jump on it sale. A lot of times I get a heads up from NCIX, but by the time I get to the site, the deals are all gone. In this case, it was actually still there, so I grabbed it right away. Not too shabby. I'm quite happy with that. No more. Well, it'll be a while before I have to clean this keyboard. If you looked at one of my old videos, keyboard cleaning, it was pretty disgusting. So I figure for $10, a new Logitech mouse and keyboard, you can't go wrong with that. But anyways, let's change the subject here. Back on the note of the open source Pandora. So yeah, now that I do have proper cards by Patriot Memory, I have two 32 gigs, one in each slot. And I'll definitely want to show you what this baby can do in the areas of emulation and playing games. And oh yeah, I wanted to cover something else. When I did the unboxing on this originally, I thought I had looked through everything. And as it turns out, I only just now, again, just going back to the fact that I just haven't had the time, but I just happened to look at the manual, and I was thumbing through it, and then I noticed Mark, Mr. Vahir, he had stuck some little sticky notes in here. So I'm looking through the manual for the Pandora. So here it is. Enjoy. Happy face, Mark. So that was funny. And it says 32 gigabyte cards are the max. I think it's for this version of the OS. The system turns on when charging. Can't be off when charging. I learned this myself. If it's plugged in and charging, you can't shut it down. I mean, you can shut it down, but it automatically reboots itself. No biggie. You just unplug it when you want to shut it down. It's just one of the weird ways this device works. I'm learning new things about it all the time. Extra never used battery is included. I found that, of course. That was actually the thing that I had such trouble opening in my unboxing video. Also, extra battery faceplate, as there are in the Pandora, is slightly damaged. Yeah, there was an extra faceplate. Basically, I think he means like the battery cover, and it was slightly damaged. It had a little piece of plastic broken off. It's no big deal. It's just for carrying the spare battery around, so that's no big deal. And there is a small natural bulge in the screen. It is not to be helped, a design feature, but honestly, I've not noticed it. I can't find that. I have no idea what he's talking about there, so that's a good thing. Anyways, so yeah, just catching up and expanding on my original unboxing. I didn't see these notes from Mark originally, so thanks a lot, Mark. And as I mentioned to Mark, he had included the official, oh boy, the official Open Pandora case, which oddly enough, if you close the Pandora, see, well, I guess you could say it can fit, but you've really got to stretch the hell out of it, basically, and then close it, and overall, it's super snug to the point of being like a second skin, and that's the official case for it. But that's okay, because he was nice enough to include this other larger case. Now, it may not be official. It actually says Piranha on it. But this is a nice big case, and this fits the Pandora Open console really well. So that's awesome. I love this case. And as for the so-called official, original, actual case for the Pandora, well, I'm going to be using that for my GP2X Canoe, because that's smaller than the Pandora and fits very well in there, as you can see. So Awesome. Extra cases are a good thing. Thanks again, Mark. So yeah, I hope to get back to that soon now that I have proper proper SD cards with proper capacity. I'll get to that. And the TurboEVERDRIve, again, I've still got to turn it on. I still got to verify this thing works. So stay tuned, folks. I'm hoping it'll be sometime, well, I'm not even going to say soon, because as I said, we're preparing for vacation in a week, 2 weeks in Mexico. Then when we get back, December 2nd, and I am hopefully have something for you before Christmas. All right, so this has been a long video. Rob out. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.